Alright, hello guys, welcome to my review of Man of Steel. So basically, I already recorded this before the new film came out, like the day before. But I basically lost the footage and stuff, so I'm basically starting fresh. So the movie's been out, and I've already put my review of the movie and stuff of the new film, and I've put out reviews of the old Christopher Reeve films as well. So let's get into Man of Steel. So yeah, basically it starts with Krypton. Basically, the mother's giving birth to Kal-El. We get to see a lot of Krypton in this film, which is pretty cool. The design and everything is awesome. We get to see Zod, who's just played so well in this film. I love the Zod from the original Christopher Reeves one. Like, I just like how he played like being like a menace well, while this one's more like more duty driven. Yeah, like trying to honor what Krypton has, like its legacy, and how one things go when they end up locking him up and basically putting him in something that he's trapped in for a long time while Krypton's just falling apart. No one wants to listen to is it Joel? I don't know if he's called Joel in this as well, but yeah. And them having to put their son away with the rest of the secrets that go with him, like the Codex or whatever it was called. Yeah. And yeah, basically Zod tries to fight back anyway before he gets locked up. But and I think he ends up killing Joelle, the mother. She kind of sees Krypton fall apart, but still, even before then, just seeing all of Krypton and the land and just the cool action scenes they have while they're trying to fight, it's pretty good. And this is just taking long to load, like Jesus Christ. And they spend a good amount of minutes on Krypton. Normally it's just like a 5 to 10 minute thing. Hell, not even 10 minutes. I'd say 5 minutes at max. But this actually went all in on telling the origin. Yeah. And the only other thing that's ever done that is like the original Superman animated show. That's the only time like they probably spent like a whole episode showing the origins of Superman and his home Krypton. Yeah. That's truly the only thing. Because this just went all in with its origin, and probably inspired like that show Krypton, which I never watched because I don't even know if it was any good, and yeah, if it's even connected to anything, or it just basically shows like the stuff before Superman, just basically get to see all of Krypton, like the world. But I just don't know if it was really done that well. But yeah, I'd say this movie does a pretty good job though. Yeah. So yeah, basically they end off Krypton with Zod saying, "I will find him," which is his version of Neo before Zod from the Christopher Reeves era. And yeah, just make a flash forward with after Krypton gets destroyed, we actually get to see Superman. But instead of seeing him when he was a kid, they actually show him I guess when he's fully grown. Basically he ends up saving a bunch of people, because they do show him being heroic, and then they jump to him being a kid, and you get to see him with how he gets his superhero and stuff, and compared to like how things were in Smallville, where the way how he started to get his superhero and being his X-ray vision like was more cringy with him seeing girls' bras and stuff, and then it's like, bro. But yeah, it's to get more serious than this. Like, it seems like a painful experience. And yeah, it seems like he's just mainly by himself, distant from humanity because of how he was raised, which I don't really like. I don't like the dad in this, the one who raises Clark Kent, but the mom's alright, but it's the dad, like, telling him to stay away from people, not save him, because in this scene where he's on a school bus and he ends up going in the lake, he decides to save him, but his dad's not really happy about that, which is just so messed up, where the one from Smallville would encourage him to do things like that. It was just weird to see that. So that's one of the big flaws of this film, like his character, because it kind of affects Clark when he gets older, to the point where he doesn't always save everyone, and it's just terrible. He's more busy just looking cool instead of actually saving people. Then you got Lois Lane, who's, I'd say for the first film, is pretty cool, and then this guy from Happy, I don't know if you ever watched Happy, like he's a cool character as well, especially with what he does at the end. But yeah, and you got him with just his eyes, yeah, and then they get to meet. Yeah, it's a cool scene. We get to discover things, and then we get a little scene at the Denny planet. Like, he was a cool casting, but they barely do any much more with him going forward though, which kind of sucks. Like he's basically the head of the Daily Planet, but goes nowhere, sadly. And, Lois is just trying to get her big story, the usual Lois kind of storylines. And I'd say out of the Loises, I'd say she's, well, for the first film, I'd put her like fourth place. Because as it goes on, they just completely fail Lois, especially going into Batman v Superman, like just completely destroyed her character. Because they decided to focus more on trying to catch up to Marvel instead of developing the character as well. They even kill off flipping Jimmy Olsen, which I'll just say now, because it's not like I'm going to review Batman v Superman anyway. Like, just Zack Snyder didn't care about building the lore properly, like from what we've seen in the past, and possibly, shows that you might have grown up with, like me, with Justice League Unlimited and stuff, Smallville, that actually developed the characters well, and Jimmy Olsen doesn't die and actually is developed well, and then he's also a cool character in the new Superman film, so yeah, you get my point. They just waste a lot of characters, and then some of them just disappear, yeah. They either die or disappear, and then the ones that are supposed to be the mains are the ones that just get wasted mostly. And I guess he gets to see his dad visually, like the usual thing we get to see, yeah. But he has more of a presence, like later on in the film, where he's actually able to help Lois Lane when Zod comes for Clark, because of course, like he said, he will find him, yeah. And he's just telling him his destiny and stuff, yeah. And then I don't know if I've already gone past the scene where his dad dies, yeah. But yeah, Lois ends up finding him. I think this was the scene where like all this shit happens, yeah, and he easily could have saved his dad, but his dad was just like, no, don't save me, let me die. And then just dies, and then he's like, no. It's just so bad. It's like it's one of the worst scenes in a Superman movie ever. Like, it's just so bad because it makes no sense, yeah. And yeah, he has a little nice moment with his mum, because I feel like she's the one who's developed well out of the parents, because the dad was just completely failed. I mean, some people like that interpretation of him not wanting his, son to be exposed, because then people could just use him and stuff, or try to kill him if they figure out like about kryptonite and stuff. But yeah, so I guess I understand that. But yeah, and then the world's being infected by some kind of signal or something. You get more flashbacks. I mean, they're not doing bad things with this story, but it just could have been so much better, because Zack Snyder just wanted to break down Superman, which I feel like if you're trying to do like a darker version, I guess you can do that to the point where it's unrecognizable. It's not even Superman. That's just not good. Yeah. I mean, I would have been fine with a darker version. Yeah. And Zod, he ends up coming back and causing chaos and destruction, and then we get to like the controversial stuff where so much is getting destroyed because Superman's not really doing enough to keep away from the city, compared to like Christopher Reeve's Superman, where he's like, he realizes people are getting in danger and the city's getting destroyed, so he decides to like go straight to the Fortress of Solitude, where he has his final battle so no one gets hurt. And there was one point in the film where I guess Superman wouldn't have been able to do much straight away, because he literally sends a beam down and it ends up messing up the Earth's gravity and killing loads of people. So I feel like when that kind of stuff happens, there's not really as much he can do, especially when there's no other superheroes around, even though Batman basically exists and was actually there when it was happening. And then who knows with Wonder Woman, so you could kind of blame like what the hell was they doing? Where with James Gunn, like at least there was other superheroes around, and I'm just happy they didn't focus too much on them. It was more about Superman, yeah. So yeah, if they was really gonna rush, they could have at least had maybe some characters, but then I feel like that would also be a bad thing. And yeah, just the visuals are just so good. Yeah, like when when Zod comes for him, he basically gets trapped in this kind of thing, yeah, and you're seeing just crazy shit about Krypton's death and everything. And you got Jor-El helping Lois escape because she got forced to come with Zod, yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad film, but I just hate a lot of the flaws in it, with Superman just letting people die and stuff. It's just, and that scene where they try to go after Martha for the Codex, and then he gets pissed. Like, that's a cool scene. Yeah, there was a lot of cool scenes in this film, but that's mainly what it's about, cool scenes. And this character, she's pretty cool, Because there was one film in Superman 2 who was one of Zod's people. Like, she was pretty cool. But this one's, like, when it comes to her fighting, like, she's just a badass. Yeah. She's probably the best fighter in the film, in my opinion. Like, she literally whoops Superman's ass at one point. Yeah. And you got that other guy too. But yeah, she's probably, like, one of the strongest. And it just makes sense that, you know, they would be better at fighting than Superman, because they actually have military training from their world, their alien world. Wow, he just trained at a flipping farm, so it just makes sense he wouldn't be able to whoop their asses, especially if they're all coming at once, which I don't even know if they actually do. Maybe a 2 at a time, where in flipping the original film, well, Superman 2, like, all 3 of them are fighting him at once, and Jesus, he gets overwhelmed. Yeah, so he has to kind of, like, that kind of Superman has to kind of think on what to do instead of trying to engage him. And it's the part where the world just ends up getting messed up. Metropolis just gets, like, half of it just gets destroyed. Lois is trying to do whatever she can to help fight against it. She gets given the codex, right, I think, so they can actually take him down. Yeah, and that happy guy ends up helping too, which, you know, he comes into clutch when that woman just comes after him, which is crazy. Yeah, they tried the military tried their best to fight, but there's only so much they can do against this ship, because they just get devoured. Yeah. And then when they find out when the codex is, that's when they send the other 2 while Zod's fighting Superman. Yeah, but they're able to, you know, use the codex to destroy the remains of Krypton. And Zod, you just see him, like, just defeated and just pissed, because he felt like he was meant to protect Krypton at all costs, and when it died, he wanted to at least protect the last piece of Krypton, the codex, and he ended up losing that, and now it just feels like the only purpose he has now is just to kill Superman and make his life hell and destroy everything that he cares about. Yeah. So they have their final fight, and then I just love that scene where, like, Superman's just punch him in the air several times. Yeah, and then just, I don't know if he grabs into that, like, on the neck, because they basically use that in, like, Injustice, like that, literally the same fighting style. Yeah, in like a finisher or something. Yeah. Then it gets to a point where they was fighting to a point where basically Zod tries to kill some innocent people, but then I guess manofsteel Superman, he decides to snap his neck, which I guess a lot of people had problems with back in the day, even though to me, Superman killed Zod and the others, Non and that woman. Well, Lois kind of helps with the woman, but yeah, in Superman 2. And then there's, like, some people who say, like, Zod actually survives, but it's still unclear what happened to the other 2, so to me, Superman's basically killed before. Even the Christopher Reeves version's killed before, so to me, yeah. This was never really as big of a deal to me. But yeah, I mean, Superman's not supposed to kill people though, and they definitely stick by that rule in the new Superman film, where they even want to kill just a giant monster that was terrorizing the city. But, you know, the rest, like Green Lantern and them, didn't really care. They just killed it. Yeah. And then you just Hawk Girl, she's going around killing people too, so yeah. But Superman, he's not supposed to be going around killing people, he's supposed to be saving people, being the definition of hope. Yeah. But this one's just completely broken, and he feels so bad after killing Zod. But I just have a big issue with him going, like, not doing enough to stay away from citizens and basically getting them killed and not trying to save them, because you literally get a similar scene in the new film where you could say he's kind of posing like Superman in the new film, but he's literally still saving people at the same time, and you have more respect for that Superman, where this one's just posing while people are flipping dying. Literally there's a flipping van with gas on it, and it flipping blows up, and instead of trying to catch it to save people, he just jumps over it and just looks badass, and it blows up, like, you know, explosions behind him. There's probably tons of people that died in that scene, and I'm just like, bruh. That's my only issue. But him killing Zod, to me, that's not an issue. Yeah, that's not an issue to me. And yeah, and it seems like even after he tried to save everyone, there's still the military that are trying to watch him and learn about him. But, you know, he basically destroys their dish, and then he kind of leaves afterwards. Yeah, he doesn't want to be spied on. And then they finally set up him joining the Daily Planet at the end, and then the film ends. Yeah. And it just sucks. They could have focused on the Daily Planet stuff, and, like, with him joining the Daily Planet in, like, half of the film instead of the very end, which is just, you're not actually getting the complete story, and even the continuation is just awful. Like, things don't get better from here. But just for like the first film, it's not bad. I was never like hate or love this film. I was always in the middle. So to me, it was like I'd say above average, so like a 6.8 out of 10. But when I say above average, it has to be like a 7, I think. I think if that's how I rate things, because average, what would I say is average? Well, okay is like a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 is average, and then I'd say 7 is above average, so it's close to above average, I guess. But yeah, 6.8, I could never really go higher than that, because it's just not Superman to me. But if you just read it as like an alien coming to Earth and how things would be, you could say this is accurate, yeah. Because it sucks to think that literally Homelander's probably saved more people than Superman in this single film, and then he just gets worse as things go on. Yeah. Oh man, it's kind of, that's kind of terrible to think about, because Homelander's a monster too. He actually is fine killing innocent people. Yeah, and you actually see him save people too, even flipping his nemesis Butcher. Yeah. So yeah, that's just crazy to think about. And yeah, other than that, the film's not bad. It's an above average film. It's alright. It's not really my kind of Superman, so that's why I could never really rate it higher. But for people who like the more darker story Superman, I guess that's why they like it. But it will never be like, to me, a really true definition of Superman, like the new one, Superman and Lois, which is my favourite, and Christopher Reeves, who's just like the shining example to what Superman's supposed to be and what superheroes are supposed to be. So yeah, that's just my review anyway, because I know there's people that love this film anyway. But yeah, let me know if you love it, let me know if you hated it, or if you're in the middle like me. But yeah, we're in a new era of DCU now. James Gunn, who's probably going to do the characters fully accurate to how they're supposed to be, and we've got proof of that with Superman. And he's just got proof from like his previous work with Marvel, with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which literally made me cry with the last one. So yeah, he has the potential. And then there's the Suicide Squad movie that he did in the old DCEU. That was really good, better than the first Suicide Squad movie they made, which was just terrible. Yeah. But yeah, so I'd say the DCU's in good hands after seeing the new film, and I still need to finish watching that Commandos show, yeah, that animated show, Creature Commandos, yeah. But other than that, let me just end it here. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. Appreciate you can leave a like, and peace.